getting better. We're getting better and better at going live at the same time.
Wow, what is up?
man.
Ruckus Friday nights. It's your gang. You just leave Matt. It's everyone.
Hello,
What's
everyone.
happening? Gentlemen, how was your week?
Good, man. Sorry, I'm eating. Just so you guys know, like my order for Lizzie's got delayed by like 30 minutes, and the driver was like lying to me. So his car showed that he was at like 20 kilometers down the road. He's like, "Nah, bro, I got your order," and it just seems so sketchy that on the map it never showed him go to the restaurant, but my food's here. So
Dude, maybe he just made it. That's what took so
he
long.
saved money. Oh,
This is free marketing for him.
oh, and then when he dropped it off,
He cooks better than Lizzie's.
yo, when he dropped it off, he commented, "Sick lights, bro. Really cool." And he gave me and then, yo, get this. So I gave him like 2 minutes to like leave. He looked at me when I opened the door and he's like, and he just left.
He didn't even
that was
give
the
you an
most-
emoji?
It was the sketchiest interaction I've ever had with Uber Eats.
He didn't give you an emoji thumbs up. He gave you a real life thumbs up. That's deep, dude.
Yeah, can you rate the drivers, the delivery drivers?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have given them 5 stars. You better have.
No, I don't think you can rate them. I think you can just say how was their delivery.
That's good enough. Yeah. Fucking
Thumbs up, and
amazing.
you can comment, and you be like, "Yo, he gave me a thumbs up," and comment on my.
You should send a picture and be like, it was.
That's good.
He liked my lights, bro. So
That's
cool.
where it's at, man. What did you get?
Oh, Lizzie's on the rocks, obviously. Anyone from Canada / Ontario / Mississauga.
I think they probably have.
Yeah, I
that
was gonna
kind of
say
stuff.
you really gotta narrow it down.
/ the Milky Way / Earth / Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you explain what it is, and all of our viewers that aren't from Ontario, if there's any, can tell us what.
I doubt that's gonna happen.
Wow,
That's
hater.
negative thinking.
So
Hater.
it's chicken on top of rocks.
Nice.
Chicken on the rocks.
Well, we need the Zoom membership, so we keep them around.
Wait, chicken on the what's chicken? Oh, chicken on sticks is
It's
fries.
Yeah.
Fries.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they all use sticks and rocks as their relative term for their food? Is it the shape?
No,
Rice
everyone
does
does.
not look like rocks.
I don't know.
Sticks look like fries, sure. Potato sticks.
Since Lucas isn't going to tell you guys, it's like a Mediterranean dish. It's Mediterranean food.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What, the word Mediterranean?
Yeah.
It's a region.
What if you asked for chicken on the rocks and they gave you chicken on ice cubes? Like, you know how when you order a drink, like
It's on the rocks.
chicken on the rocks, and you're just like,
That's
this
a
is not-
non-Mediterranean version.
That's if you ask Lucas to give you chicken on the rocks. He'd give you some shit like that.
chicken on ice cubes. Flavored cubes though. It's
And it would
just the
be
sauce
it'd be like
frozen.
it'd be like Metro's rotisserie chicken too. It wouldn't even be like the spit like that they have at the Mediterranean.
Spit on it?
It would definitely be missing.
Ugh.
It would definitely be missing a drumstick if I gave
Tui.
you chicken on the rocks too.
I gotta say sorry real quick because you mentioned spitting. One of my coworkers, Ross, his sound effect for spit is "tui," and I was like, "What? That since when? That's so common."
Maybe he spit. Maybe that's just how he spits.
And he's a grown ass man. Too.
"Tui." Yeah, he's a grown ass man. He's like 40 or something like that.
Flubber Gem saying Lee showed us the dish and they love it.
Oh shoot! Is that the first time you ever had it? Damn, sick.
Probably started with chicken on the rocks in reference to ice in the drink. Yeah, that's. But it's not the same. It's not ice.
And it's not a drink.
Oh, but rice has the word ice. That's-
Oh!
Yo,
You think-
is
you
it?
think
Whose
they really
joke is
have
it
one?
this week? It's not my joke, is it? Okay. I thought it was. I just.
Oh, no. Oh, no, good. I have one. I forgot. I totally forgot I have one. Yeah, we go. I
Yeah,
shat my pants there
I'm
for a
gonna
second.
put this away.
What, wasn't good?
No, I'll just finish it later. I don't want to be eating the entire pot. Like this will take me.
Dude, we're still shooting the.
We are.
You're shooting the shit.
All right,
Letting people come in.
I'm bringing it back, baby.
Bring it back, baby. Yo, rest
Yo,
in
what a-
peace.
Yeah, DMX.
Yeah, rest in peace, DMX.
Him and Prince Philip.
Bad.
I said DMX.
Scott Hall wants to know what we think about the spelling penis, but PEENUS.
Penis. I kind of like
It
it
helps
better.
it helps you accentuate the word. I feel like I can see the shape of a penis more in that word than the other one.
I feel like if they did like a Charlie Brown human anatomy book for kids, that's how they'd spell penis.
I mean, you do pee out of your penis. So
That's true.
double
No,
E makes sense.
Speak for yourself, bro. After I have Taco Bell, I pee out of my butthole too.
Yeah, that's true.
And when you're drunk, you just pee out of your mouth. You just spit everywhere.
Yeah, I'm a puke and rally kind of guy.
When he's drunk, he pees into his mouth too. Water fountain, baby.
Stop talking about my kinks.
He's like, it's Bear Grylls survival mode right now. They're like, Matty, there's water inside. He's like,
this is your house. This is your house,
You
Matty.
live here. You live here.
Oh,
I'll
man.
be like, take this glass of water. He's like, I'm not gonna drink your pee. He just pees in his own mouth. Boom.
Scott Hall says he identifies with that spelling more because he went to a Japanese restaurant and they asked if I had a penis allergy.
No way. No, they didn't.
Yo, Scott Hall's got joke of the week this week.
He does. That's fantastic. Oh, well, do you? First of all, Scott Hall, do you have a penis allergy?
That's fair.
That's hilarious. That's funny. When do you guys want me to...
What Japanese restaurant did you go to? What were you gonna say? Better not have been in lockdown, otherwise I'm reporting you.
Call cops. Right to jail. Right away.
Right to jail. What were you gonna say? You want to bang
I was
off
going
the
to
joke?
say, you let me know when you want me to frickin' make
Oh wait,
you laugh.
let's talk about what we're drinking. What are we drinking?
Oh, yeah, right. Sorry. Go ahead, Matt. What are you drinking?
Yeah, I'm drinking Michelob Ultra. They changed their cans. The cans are a little different, which is always cool.
Oh, they're smaller?
And I'm shooting Pink Whitney again. Shout out to Fit and Chicklets. Good pod. But
Shout out to Whitney.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, amazing voice. I'm pretty sure I asked you this before. What's the percentage on it?
the Pink Wit, I
Yeah.
think it's like 30, maybe 35.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah,
That's
30.
fine. How is
Pink,
it? What,
it's pink lemonade vodka. You could probably drink it on ice. Like it's pretty smooth that way.
So like on the rocks.
I'm not a big vodka person though. This is the first time I've drank vodka or had vodka in probably, no joke, like 10 years.
wow.
Yeah. Other than the first time I tried it when it first came to Canada. So when I came to Canada like last year.
Like when vodka came to Canada?
Yes, that's correct. It was first established in 1564 in Pink Whitney came out in the States first and then just came out in Canada in like 2019, late 2019. When you could have gatherings, that's how, because I had it at a gathering, so that's the only way I remember.
Back in the old days.
Yeah.
Glad to see Scott Hall does not have a penis allergy, so he can hang with the boys. Hey, I am still drinking Terramana tequila. Dwayne Johnson's tequila.
Yeah, we tagged the Rock. He didn't reply to our review yet.
Wait, so
We're
you see,
waiting.
the thing is I realized afterwards, like, I meant it as a compliment that it tastes like his sweat, what I imagine sweat would be like, but I see how that could also be an insult to the tequila. So, whatever. Well, fuck it. Whatever. Anyways, I'm mixing that with
that's fair.
orange juice.
Oh, a tequila sunrise? Is that what they call it?
That's right. That's what it's called.
Oh, good morning.
Good thing it's not your joke of the week.
I am starting it off with a Smirnoff Ice.
Ooh.
Yeah,
How old are
very,
you, dude?
Very strong. It's like a 3%. But I have finished my vodka for shots, Lux de Salva, that I've been drinking. I decided to buy a Ciroc bottle.
Oh,
this guy's fancy. Pidity, shout out.
Man.
Shout out to Pidity.
So
Or actually, I think he's just Diddy now.
So-
now he's just Diddy.
there's a lot of flavors of
daddy.
Ciroc. Have you guys had it? Do you guys have a favorite?
no, I don't drink vodka.
No, I don't also drink vodka except for now. I'm drinking right now, but no, I don't normally.
So I was
I
gonna
don't
get the
know what it is.
coconut one, but I was like, yo, that could be nasty. So I got the apple.
Yeah, that doesn't sound bad. Yo, in my
Yeah.
experience, though, the coconut tequila, fantastic. Mix that with lemonade. Holy
That's
shit,
fair.
that's dangerous, homie. That's
Yeah,
dangerous. You
I'm
can
doing
drink
it
that for
straight.
days.
I'm doing it straight though. Like I'm gonna do Ciroc straight. There's no point of mixing it if it's like.
You gotta have
expensive.
rockets with the Smirnoff. It's a half a beer, half a Smirnoff Ice. These call them rockets or turbos.
What's the point?
If you want to have beer, I don't know. Funny. Why do you have to be on the spot? It's not my turn to be on the spot. It's your
Sorry,
turn to be on
man.
the spot.
I was just asking.
All right,
And I
and
have White Claws for
So-
later.
just for anyone who's at home trying to make drinks, apparently it's not a tequila sunrise if you don't have grenadine in it. Thank you, Scott Hall, for letting us know that. So I just have tequila and orange juice then. whatever you fucking
So
want to call
fucking
that.
basic, dude. Typical.
Is it
To orange juice.
instead of a screwdriver, is like just a screw wrench? Is a screw wrench even a thing? Is it just
No.
like called a wrench?
Yeah, what the fuck is a screw
Yo,
wrench?
dude, you are not.
You're so lucky.
Can you mute?
Yeah. Go back to eating your food. Quietly, please.
Yeah, I think so. Lucas, have you tried? I'm gonna do my best. Zubrovka bison vodka.
Zhubruvka. I have.
That's what I said. Is that the one with the bison grass in it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's really good. It's also if you have tried it, Scott Hall, since you're asking me, try it with apple juice, and it tastes like an apple pie because the Zhubruvka almost has like I want to say like kind of like a cinnamon aftertaste to it. And you can make some 6-shooters with that.
Well, we should have an episode where we buy random. Maybe this is one we do in person, but we'll buy random bottles of vodkas and shit and rums, like all different kind of liquors, and we'll try them and give our reviews.
Oh, you want to do a taste testing episode? That sounds fun.
In person though, we gotta wait. That's obviously much better.
Like
Yeah,
we have done something kind of along the lines of like we would bring, hey, like I'm gonna make a specialty shot, like an apple pie shot, and like I brought the ingredients for it and brought them over, and like everyone brought a specialty shot. Is that what what you're trying to say, or just straight?
No, I'm just saying let's go buy some stuff and we'll try to shoot it.
Okay.
I'm not big on cocktails. I think that's too much work for me just trying to have a drink.
Well, no, they're flavored
that's so
shooters. They're not like full out cocktails that you sip on. It's just like apple pie.
But you gotta
shots.
make it still.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down to make cocktails still. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, we can do that. Anyways, stay tuned for that one. That will come when Canada one day in the next 2 years comes out of lockdown.
Maybe this summer. Maybe this summer we can try it.
Fucking count your lucky stars.
Maybe it's a cottage thing. Maybe it's a cotty epi.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
All right, let's before we get into the topic of the social distancing champion of Bigfoot, let's hear Lee's.
All right, so my wife does not approve of this joke. She thinks it's stupid. I'm going for it anyways because I'm a go-getter, you know? So let's see if I can get through this.
You can't tell a joke.
I feel like I'm like kind of know what it is.
All right. So I was really hungry one day. It was my turn to cook dinner. I couldn't think of what to make, and my mom was like, "Yo, why don't you make spaghetti?" And I said, "Spaghetti? I barely even know her."
Why is that funny? There's like this doesn't even make
It's like
sense.
no humor to it at
It's
all.
so
But it's
good.
so good. Oh man, Matt loves it. Matt loves it.
Yeah.
So stupid, dude.
You got my vote. That's a win.
Sweet, thank you. Appreciate it.
I think you've probably done the best joke of the week so far.
With that one. Chat while you guys think about how fucking great that spaghetti joke is. Let me tell you real quick. One name, 2 words. Grand Champ. Buying or selling a home, free evaluations, and price. Lee Grand Champ does it all. I don't know what does, but I do know that you do want Champ in your corner when you're talking about real estate. Check him out on Instagram at Mississauga Vibe or at his website, champrealestate.ca. Lee Grand Champ will make you a property champion. Again, you can check him out on episode 10. He was our guest. Cool dude.
And links are in our YouTube description, as well as I think Twitch. Is there Twitch descriptions? Do we do that? Is that a thing?
I'll make it a tile.
There
So you
a
can
tile?
It'll just be a picture of him.
Oh, he better look cute.
He always looks cute, that guy. What was you gonna see now? I lost my train. I'm sorry. You made me think about Lee Grand Champ.
Well, then let's see. I assume your joke of the week was a hit.
Well,
Twitch?
you guys tell him.
I would say it's a hit. I would say it's a hit on my part. People are probably too busy dying of laughter to be able to respond.
They can't even breathe. Can't even breathe yet.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Lee, you're a little choppy there. You froze during your ad read for like a second.
Oh, did I? Oh, shoot.
Yeah, you're like one man, 2 words. That's it. I mean, we didn't hear the rest of the advert, but it's all good.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, it was alright.
Guy hit puberty just now.
I'm so glad I've been waiting so long. Yeah, I think that was alright. That was a pretty good one.
Yeah, let's
Thank
do
you.
it.
Appreciate it.
I want
Matty
to
and-
try this Ciroc.
I'll have a sip with you guys. Cheers.
Oh no, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, this is for
Yo, if anyone wants to go ahead and use that joke, you're welcome to. I actually came up with it myself at work. Pretty proud of it. I'm probably gonna tell it at my wedding. It'd be the icebreaker.
My parents were like, "You want to marry Emma?" Oh, I fucked up. I never mind. Cheers.
Emma, I barely even know her. No.
That's actually not bad.
She actually said she really wants me to tell the joke at her wedding. Wow.
oh, there you go.
Good support.
That's
That's why we're a
dead
good team.
quiet. How awkward is that moment?
It won't be because you guys will laugh for me, right? Right?
If I'm not already KO'd,
The
on
chances
dance
chances of me laughing at that at your wedding would be the chances of Bigfoot coincidentally showing up. That's
floor, which
my,
may be some
That's
pretty
my-
Wow,
high
perfect
my-
segue.
oh, what are the odds of that? We're talking about this.
Welcome our new guest, Bigfoot.
So our topic this week is Bigfoot. We all believe in him, even though he may not believe in us.
That's deep.
Yeah,
I like to think he does. That's what gets
Yeah,
me through the
I
day
think so too.
when I wake up in the morning.
that's true.
If I don't believe in me, Bigfoot believes in me. And if Bigfoot believes in me, I can do anything.
Sure.
I'm a big fan of Bigfoot. I actually eat his feet candy. I know
This
that
guy-
they're obviously made after him, so without him, obviously. Sorry, I don't want to assume it's gender. That's very 2020 of me to do.
Yeah, rude.
I don't want to assume it's gender. So Bigfoot out there, if you weren't around, we wouldn't be able to have the sour big feet. Those ones are better than the fucking regular Swedish berry feet.
Well, isn't that what we're talking about this podcast? Just the candy,
Yeah.
not even the creature.
I mean, researching the wrong thing.
Really? Because I've been doing 3-hour videos of how it's made. Bigfoot candy.
Getting hungry over there
How did
waiting
they
for
make
the
the red?
disease.
How did they make the blue ones differently?
What?
The blue ones different.
Is that
from the red
is that a
ones.
thing? The blue ones are like special?
They're sour and they have sugar on them. They're coated in sugar. The red ones are like Swedish berry flavored.
So what
The
they do?
blue ones, yo, if you haven't had blue big feet, you haven't lived truly to the full potential of your life.
I've actually never had any big feet.
You have some big.
Okay, so where do you guys want to start?
Let's talk about.
The beginning?
Do you guys just off the bat? Do you guys believe that there is a Bigfoot out there or something like that?
That's such a fucking loaded question. That's the whole podcast.
So yes or no?
I say no. I think it's a tribe of people that are just tall,
Okay.
and
Okay.
they only breed with other tall people, so their babies grew up to be very tall too. So
And
they're
you
all
were-
like 7 feet tall.
Maish is pretty invested in it. He obviously was not invited because he's too short.
Yeah, I wanted to be a Bigfoot so bad.
He's like, I brought
like-
the berries.
like-
I brought the candy. They're like, no.
I worship them. I leave them candies in honor of them. No, like I think, I don't know. Like it looks like Lukasz wore his Halloween costume from a couple years ago, and just was in the woods at the same time, just to spark controversy.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we're talking about that
I should've
specific
worn that.
picture. Yeah, Matty and I were talking about it. We were saying we should do some Instagram vids after a view with the gorilla suit and us spotting Bigfoot.
Like, yo, he came to our birthday
Yeah.
after we had a pod about him, and he sponsors that beef jerky company. Like he's kudos to him, man.
That's
Making-
Sasquatch.
So are you saying they're different? They're all part of the same like?
It's all the
family,
same
that's what
thing.
I'm trying to say. No, they're not the same thing. They're the same family. They're different people. They're
So
Yeah,
different
they're
individuals.
Okay.
probably cousins.
Yes.
They're cousins.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's right.
cousins
It's the same
siblings.
species, if you
Yeah.
will.
or a creature. Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we start there? That's where I think things start very interesting, is that the idea of Bigfoot is literally across the globe. Like every culture that ever existed had some form of a Bigfoot, whether it was Bigfoot, which is like the North American term, also Sasquatch, Yetis, Yowies,
For Poland,
Yerins.
it's just my dad.
Yikes. So then he's real.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
The wild Janusz.
Your dad's not real?
I had to bring it up, dude. What the hell? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, I was basically just gonna say the idea of Sasquatch, Yeti, whatever you want to call it. Let's just call it Bigfoot for the sake of the conversation. Existing in every culture that has ever graced the planet. Something's there.
Is that okay? This is like a weird kind of like tangent, but could you not say the same thing about religion? They all have very similar concepts of belief. Their structures all kind of relate to the same kind of thing. It's just it varies slightly.
But there's a video. There's a
But it's
video of one and not a video of the other.
Sure, there's that too. Sure, but it's very specific as far as big like religion. Sure, some of their concepts and principles overlap with each other, but a lot of the details don't. And there's interpretations of those stories and whatnot, practice stuff. Whereas Bigfoot is a very specific thing, a very, gigantic ape wildman, hairy wildman in the forest.
Fair.
I mean, that's
the agents call him what's our Yeti, or did you say Yowie Mandel? That's very specific.
If they're just germaphobes.
Yeah, that's why they don't hang around with people.
That's why. Yeah.
We solved it. We solved it all. No, yeah, Yowies are Australian. Yeren is like Asian, like Chinese and stuff. Yetis are in the Himalayas. Sasquatch, that's Bigfoot in North America. And then there's a whole bunch of other ones. Again, every culture.
There's like skunk ape.
Yeah.
Like southeastern U.S. Like kind of weird name.
Down in Florida.
You go Bigfoot. Like, why do you gotta be so skunk ape? Like, what does that even mean?
I feel like that's such an offensive term.
Why?
Skunk ape? Like, it's so rude.
To who? The skunks or the apes?
Both. Just offensive to everybody.
Excuse me, sorry.
No, but legit, one of the things I was thinking about is in today's day and age, in today's society, we spoke about this before, how people say, like, my truth and my experience, and that's all it takes to validate something being real. By today's standards and the social justice warriors mentality, shouldn't the existence of Bigfoot just be a cold, hard fact? Because people say, hey, I saw him. My experience, my truth, Bigfoot's real. Boom. Like, I'm done. Case closed.
Okay, do we have details on when the most recent Bigfoot sighting was?
I don't know about the most recent one.
There's constant, apparently.
Yeah, there's stuff from like 2018, 2019.
The coincidence, right before COVID. Maybe Bigfoot had something to do with it.
Oh, Bigfoot wants his land back. Keep everyone inside, and he takes over. Oh my God!
Now he can roam free. Or sorry, I keep saying he. It can roam freely. It and its family of Bigfoots and Yetis and so and so.
Yo, I like this new conspiracy.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't know that it's part of the tale, but him being a wild man, I imagine he would have some kind of, like, Snow White bond with the animals. He probably told the bat in China, he was like, yo, fuck these people up. Like, I need to take over real quick. Like, take one for the team. And the bat was like, yo, homie, I got you.
Give him a quick call.
So,
yeah.
So the assumption is that Bigfoot is smarter, beyond smarter than the average primate, but not as smart as human.
Correct.
Which is crazy to think about, that we already make that estimate based off of, because they are primitive beings and hiding their own bones. Because technically, I mean, let's say if there's a lot of them, we would find bones or something. Like, we'd find some sort of hard evidence where, what if they were having, I guess, what would you call a big burial rites, where it's like when one of them dies, they take the dead body, bury it, or spread its bones.
How do you know that? Why are you making that assumption?
How do you not know? Like how do you know that's not a thing?
Yeah, I say
that's my truth.
Fuck.
How you gonna argue that, bro?
So, like, the assumption is because the realism in it is that the way you guys have seen the original video of Bigfoot, where like it looks back at the camera guy,
where he like
the big one that really blew up. 1957.
What are the odds he's gonna look back like that?
So here's here's the thing.
Like it's a runway. It's like, yo, look back at it.
No, because there's a lot of stuff that happened before they actually started recording that they couldn't get the camera of, and they explained why. Is because there was someone who was basically a explorer, let's say, and liked to look at wildlife that was extinct. And what he had done is him and his friend went on horseback into the woods, and they saw this thing, and he was so shook. He's like, "What the hell is that?" That he struggled to get his camera out, and he finally got it, but that thing was looking dead at them when he was trying to get his camera out, and started walking away as he got his camera out. Is what he had said. Now,
That's bullshit.
Now, something to
I was there, dude. It didn't happen like that.
So something to note as well is that footprints that they had found of Bigfoot were scaling to about 18 inches in size. Now, there was a guy named Ray Wallace who had admitted to, hey, I put like these like fake coverings on my shoes made of wood,
like big flippers,
to replicate those footprints. But ironically, similar size footprints, but more realistic, were shown 1,000 kilometers, like thousands of kilometers away, or miles away, I guess. I think that's what they said is in the States, that were made that were more realistic, that had skin folds in them, stress creases, as well as they had the way that the pressure was shown on the foot showed that it kind of went like tiptoe first and stepped on, which if you were to try to replicate that big of a foot onto someone, they wouldn't be able to walk naturally like that, which is why it made it so peculiar. Another thing is that video and the way that Bigfoot is walking shows it very natural, very confident walk, where if you were to try to replicate that as a 15-foot creature, like in a suit and something like that, it would take intense training to be able to do that, and you still wouldn't be able to do it for a moderate amount of time. Not saying that, whether it was a short period of time, someone planned it out, staged it, whatever have you, but it's really interesting to see how far scientists actually went into fact about it. It's like you would need a muscle suit, which means you would need an abnormally large human being to get into that muscle suit, which already doesn't exist, because there are people of great size, but not that great size to be able to sustain that much like suit on them and walk like that, which was the first case.
What if
you come? Sorry, go on, Matt.
What if they were an orthopedic expert and knew kind of what the footprint would look like, so that they could, in the footprints, add the detail to be like, if someone were to see this, this is what they would think.
Well, I think, okay, first things first, I think the time in which those footprints were discovered is relevant.
Yes.
Because the video was 1957, if I'm not mistaken, if I don't have that year wrong, which, I mean, if you just look at the technology and basically everything from that time, that'd be extremely impressive. But, I mean, you made a lot of points that I'd love to touch on throughout the entire podcast, Lucas. But the first one being the footprints, that I agree with you. Because I remember reading the same thing about, like, in this new, more convincing footprint, you could see like where the pores of the sweat would be fake ones. Because obviously there were a lot of hoaxes and people who came hoaxes. Is that the plural? Hoax?
Yeah, I'd say like there were like a lot of fraudulent
hoaxes
stuff created or whatever.
Hoaxies. I don't know. Actually, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what the plural of hoaxes.
I think it's hoaxes.
Sure. Anyways, if you look at those footprints, like it's just fake, because it's so flat and even. It's like something stepped flat down, and there was no rock in the foot. There was no change in momentum and movement. Also, each of the toes is so perfectly.
Oh no!
Perfectly clawed. It's the claw. As Lee was saying, like, yeah, the molding of the feet were so perfect that it's almost like way too fake. I guess what we're doing with the footprint. Okay,
you're back.
Lee, you're back. I was kind of just segueing.
Oh, never mind. You're not back.
He's gone. Another thing that you can also say about the footprint, because I guess right now we'll focus on the footprint itself, is yeah, there could have been an expert behind it, because even when they were kind of like relating it to like a human's foot in terms of like what we're used to, you're back. You're good. Is that when humans' pinky toes and like the, I guess, what did we say, ring toe? What was it? It's not. But what would you call the second toe close to the pinky toe?
Do they have names? I didn't know that.
Okay.
No, I think I don't know. Only your fingers.
Oh, piggies. We call them piggies because that one went to the market, right? So the market piggy and the pinky toe all face towards your thumb. I
thought that was the piggy that stays home.
I don't know. I don't know a lot about pigs. I just eat them. And for human, it's formed inside because of the way our shoes are formed is that it pushes in. Where like this was kind of more straight or pointing out, showing that it was a primitive being because of the way that the toes were formed.
That's what I mean. I'm not opposed to the whole belief of these are primitive creatures that live in like isolation of the world and technology and like, but I think there's like families of them. Like obviously they have to reproduce to exist for this long. I'm not opposed to that concept. Yeah, like I don't think it's one being. I think it's just a species, or obviously as Lee's freezing and trying to debate my topic.
He did blue steel when he froze that time.
Did I?
Yeah, I think maybe it's just like ancestors that may at one point have been together, and as geologically the world evolved, they spread out, and maybe they started growing white hair to adapt to the environment, like in the Appalachians and the Yetis and all that, and the Sasquatch, where they typically say it's white furred, right? Or is it the same color for all the time?
Apparently, it originated with dark
like
brown,
dark
brown with it could have silver on it, which is why I guess they could have been called skunk apes because it showed like kind of like a silver like patch.
But none of them are like purely white.
No. So I heard they were called skunk apes because of their foul smell.
Oh.
In like in Florida, and then
the skunk ape.
The skunk ape of Meadowvale, Lukasz. No, but Yetis got like a false reputation. Their entire existence might be a false reputation of being white just because of North American, I guess, adaptations of the folklore. But apparently the Himalayan Yeti started off as being like a brown colored being.
From like an evolutionary perspective, I could totally see why the ones that live in the snow climates would have the white fur adaptations. But I think it. I'm not against the belief that it's a primitive creature that is a primate of some kind. But that just like now they're just ancestral and reproduce with the few species that are probably left.
Yeah, so a good example is it the Bengal tiger, who is also, his population is very scarce, but still a lot, very visible, but made it very hard for people to trace because of the way that they would take care of their own dead. Where it's like it was very hard to trace because they would bury their dead, basically, like dig up or hide the body of their dead as kind of like a burial rite kind of thing, which is why it's like, if this is even more scarce than that, being capable of doing that, then it would be very difficult to find.
It's interesting to think of how many other creatures exist out in the world that we just don't know because their population is so minute that it's not even something that people discover. Yeah, we still are constantly discovering new species that we didn't know this existed.
There's this one dolphin type thing. I forget its name. It starts with a V, and apparently there's only like
Volphin.
Apparently there's only like 10 of these living creatures. So
how do we know that? Like, how do we ever accumulate? We're like, there's 10 of them.
Like, there's 10 that they know of. There's 10 that they've counted.
Okay, so two things are. One, like, if there are only 10 of these dolphin things, would it be so far-fetched for there only to be, let's say, 10 Sasquatch beings that maybe we can't find just yet? And two, like you said, Lukasz, how do we know that? Like, it's pretty fucking arrogant for us to just rule shit out because, like, we know everything. There's fucking 10 dolphins. There's no Bigfoot. Like, shut the fuck up. What do you know? Like, even if you know something, do you really know something?
We know less about the ocean than we know about space, and the ocean is here. Like, that's fucked up.
Exactly.
But what's interesting, sorry, on that point is, like, how do we know that we know less about the ocean than we do? Like, how much do we know about space?
Right.
And how big it is. Like, how can you confidently even say that? You know what I mean? But
so what was funny is one of the documentaries for Bigfoot that I was watching, and this one kind of made me chuckle because it's like, so these ones are much smaller footprints, and this guy was trying to explain to him, it's like these ones are like closer to like a 12-inch a length, probably like a baby Sasquatch. I'm like, or a grown ass man. You know?
Yeah, like aren't your feet bigger than that?
Yeah, like so.
Like, yo, Shaq, come over here and put your foot in the ground for a second. Let me just check something out.
But they said like the impressions stayed consistent with the impressions they found before, which would be more primitive due to the way that the foot was shaped, right? So it's like, oh, okay, fair.
Wow, that's so rude. They're just calling this giant man primitive. Like, it's
That
a
bro has
regular
been
human
around
being.
for so long.
Well, and I think the concern is
He's
because
watching our pod right now. He's like,
they're so
punching the
unsure.
air.
Yeah.
They're so unsure if it's a primate or a human species. On which side of that do they land, right? So that's always their concern. They say that the way the walking pattern is right in between both of us.
Mm.
And sometimes their strides can be 6 feet apart, which is like
Bigger,
impossible to replicate. If you were to put on a suit like that and you just take massive strides, even someone who's like 7 foot tall, impossible to replicate that.
Yeah. Sorry, did you have something to say, Matt?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if this is all just a family that what their goal is you know how you pass things on to your family in some cases. What if this family just passes on keeping alive the hoax of Bigfoot? So like they have this, like they teach their kids,
Around
like,
the world.
Think
yeah,
about,
This is bigger than the
they
Illuminati.
just have Zoom meetings.
but think about how educated they had to be from the start and how they had to continue to, you know, like basically
No, I don't think that's the
you'd
case.
have to learn about
I don't think you
skin
have to be
folds
educated to pass things down.
about skin folds and stuff like that. Like that's very hard to try to replicate.
But what if
Like,
that's
are you
all
talking
you're
about-
taught your entire life?
It's true.
Sorry.
That's fair. That's fair.
Are you talking about Bigfoot's foreskin folds?
Yeah, so his schlong was so big that he used to drag in between the 6 foot strides, right? So there's like a big line down the middle.
You're like, what is this line?
And that's why
Yeah,
It had a tail. Yeah.
that's why when they had an adolescent footprint, they're like, "There's no line." He's a little kid. So you know,
So I think
Okay.
it might be we know more about the moon than we do about the ocean,
Okay.
not space entirely.
Fair enough. Now I know we kind of got deep into this, but I want to dial it right back to the beginning, kind of.
just don't cut out this time.
Fuck no promises, man. Bigfoot's trying to cut me out because I'm fucking outing him, and he's like, "Yo, it's just gotta be." So
True.
yeah.
True.
He's our 8th viewer.
Okay, so for people who are unaware and maybe just kind of think that Bigfoot is just this spontaneous creature of myth in cryptozoology and whatnot, but there was a real live animal called the Gigantopithecus. I don't know if you guys know about that.
It's what they call me in bed.
Shrimp wonton? No, that's
No,
not his name.
no, Gigantodictus.
Gigantodicus, baby.
Just kidding. No one's ever called me that.
So hard to take ourselves seriously.
We know.
No, but the Gigantopithecus was this giant ape, this giant great ape, like orangutan-ish, esque. Is it orangutan or is it orangutan?
Orangutan, because he drinks Tang all the time. So
Oh, I thought you said tank.
and he's orange.
Orangutan.
Orangutan. Anyways, okay, so this
Orange tank.
this giant
This is
great
like
ape.
worse and worse.
Yeah, we're going straight downhill. This giant great ape lived, fuck, I don't even remember, thousands and thousands of years ago, and it was
Where do you live?
Like,
Like
when the Earth-
Meadowville Town Center, or
When the Earth was first created, you mean?
that's right. So it lived in like southern China area. What would be southern China now, if I'm not mistaken. This thing measured like 10 to 12 feet. Like this thing is giant. And this is back in the day when there was that land bridge between, again, what would be Russia and North America. There was land connecting there, and most animals migrated across, and that's how you got a lot of things. Even some people. That's why they have similarities between indigenous North Americans and Asians in their DNA, humans. So the idea is that this Gigantopithecus crossed the land bridge, and that's how we got Bigfoot and Sasquatches in North America, because this was a real thing.
and
so
is a real thing.
Yeah,
Well, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist
It
anymore.
was what
You
was
sure?
it called? The
Gigantopithecus? Yeah, it doesn't
no,
exist anymore.
no. The bridge. It was
No, the bridge
called
doesn't
something.
exist either.
No, the bridge was called something. Where when
You're thinking of
Creature could
Pangea.
Yeah, Pangea is this. The bridge is not
Yeah,
Pangea.
it's different. It's different.
No, I know. I'm saying that there's a name for the bridge. Anyways,
The Bering Land Bridge.
that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
Isn't the Borean Tundra escarpment?
anyways, it's not such a far-fetched idea for this Gigantopithecus to be traveling throughout the world and evolution throughout time, creating what would be Bigfoot today, right? Like that idea alone is not so
Yeah.
far-fetched.
I prefer to
agree.
call him skunk ape.
I mean, that's why we don't ask for your opinion, but
Okay, you guys brought it up.
the Bering Strait, yeah, that's it. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not opposed to that whole concept of
So what are you opposed to, if I may ask?
Sex before marriage, for sure.
call me in 10 minutes how I live. I actually, that's a good question. I'm not entirely sure. I just don't. I think a lot of the sightings and stuff, people see like a bear moving too quick. It's like, holy fuck, it's Bigfoot. It's like, have you ever seen how big a bear is in person? Like, they're gigantic.
So
The
what
same
about,
thing about like rhino. Like, I don't know about you guys, but the first, like, when I had seen a rhino in person for the first time, like, I did not realize how like they legit look like tanks. Like they're plated with like
Yeah,
thick ass. Like I never really
foreskin.
like appreciated that. Yeah,
it's all
thick ass
foreskin.
foreskin.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fact.
Like I never really like realized that, and I think that's the case. Is like in the moment when you're like camping or you're out in these areas, and you see something running through and it's huge. Like that could be a fucking like bears are gigantic. They're not tiny ass creatures.
I agree to outdoor noobs like us that maybe it could just be a bear. But what do you say to the sightings of people who are like experienced hunters and outdoorsmen who have been around bears and wolves and deer and moose like day in day out, and they're like, I know what a fucking bear is. That thing was not a fucking bear.
Which no, I say no.
You say
That's it. Just no. That's not a bear.
You're wrong.
No.
Okay, so I mean, do you want to take a chat break now, or do you want to keep going?
Yeah, let's take a chat break. Quick, we'll take a shot break. Some good comments here.
Holy shit, that flew by.
Yeah, I know. We got some comments. Eric Man on Twitch saying Bigfoot came through this Stargate. Boom.
Okay, so I did want to touch on that. There is this theory out there.
So we'll
What?
come back to that. So that's a topic to start.
Yeah, sure.
Shot break.
We'll cheers. We'll cheers.
Hey
to
guys,
shot break.
Carl's in here. You know who's
Carl,
not?
yeah, shut up, Carl's
Carl's
mom.
mom.
You didn't like my
So-
hair? What the hell, bro? Like, look at how sick it is.
For Carl's mom. Pour one out,
Carl's mom.
folks. Cheers.
Here, Carl, how about this one sec? You said you didn't like my hair? Then I'll do this for you. Look at this luscious flow.
See, Carl
This is how
here,
it just falls now.
Carl says experienced hunters and outdoorsmen don't see Bigfoot.
But they have.
I would argue that because there was a bunch of sightings that I read about that came from experienced hunters and
What? So everything that you read is true?
No, I'm
The
not saying
Bible's
that.
true. Oh shit!
Shit! Oh my god! No, I'm just saying is that there's contradicting evidence to what Carl's saying. So
He also said that there's no Bigfoot signs anywhere. I literally saw a sign that said Bigfoot crossing, so that is literally a Bigfoot sign.
these guys are fucking full of shit. He's full of shit.
Well, see, and I believed you. I believed your comment about knowing about more about the surface of the moon and the ocean floor. I take it back. It's
Hey,
space.
don't fucking trust this guy.
I don't
Eric
either.
Manboat also asks, "What's the difference between Bigfoot, Yeti, and Sasquatch?" It's all the same thing, just different regions.
It's just different, like origins. Yeah.
Yeti is the one who likes the winter.
Yes, in the Himalayan mountains.
Mhm. Sasquatch is apparently Canadian.
Sasquatch is Canadian. Yeah.
Yeah, hence the beef jerky.
Yeah, because Bigfoot didn't have an A in it, and Sasquatch does. Hence why he's Canadian.
Hey, I like it.
It's true, man.
That's sick. Les Stroud. Yes. Don't worry, Carl. I'm going to get into Les Stroud. Don't you worry. I'm going to get into Les Stroud.
So, okay, let's. What do
Is
you
that a good
want?
segue?
Yeah, let's segue into. Let's go Lee Shroud and touch Stargate.
Les Stroud. So Les Stroud, for anyone who doesn't know him, they might be familiar with the show Survivor Man. Yes? No?
No
Um,
idea. No idea.
You guys have never
never-
seen the show Survivor Man?
I've never survived.
I've seen Bear Grylls.
Okay, so Survivor Man is basically the real Bear Grylls. For people who don't know, I love Bear Grylls. Don't get me wrong, his shows were great, but he takes a crew with him. Survivor Man is this, guy, Les Stroud, who would actually go out into the wilderness with a camera and survive for a week. Like, he actually did it. Now, one of his stories that I think is, I'm not saying he encountered Bigfoot, but something very interesting happened, and I take him for his word. Maybe it's because I'm a Les Stroud.
Did you believe everything on the internet? You're so woke.
Actually, I saw it on TV, so does that count as the internet?
Did you watch it on your computer?
No, I said TV.
Yeah, but you could technically stream a TV show through your computer. So.
Well, I didn't say a TV show. I said I saw it on TV.
You lost me. Get back on track.
Okay, so Les Stroud is in Alaska. He's in Alaska, and he's filming one of his episodes of Survivor Man. Now, when he does his episodes, he'll film like, oh, we're building a fire, and then he'll stop the camera, and he'll actually build the fire because he actually needs to do the work, and not all of it is entertaining for the viewers. So he's in this one part where he's making a grass bed for the night. And again, he's in Alaska. There's no gorillas in Alaska.
There's also no grass in Alaska.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
So I've never been there. I've just seen it on TV.
No. He means the word grass is not in the word Alaska.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's not wrong. So he's making this grass bed in Alaska, and from the edge of the forest, he can hear like
I'm gonna do the impression right now.
Yeah, you know how gorillas make that sound like ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, you know?
That sounds like an owl who's beatboxing.
Okay, anyways, he hears like a gorilla making that kind of sound, but like super loud. Like several times. And Les Stroud has been around bears, moose, whatever, and so the way he described it, he's like, I knew that wasn't a bear. What the hell was that thing? So he his camera's beside him, and he just wants to reach for his camera. If he could just record the sound, that might be enough to start convincing people. So as soon as he touches his camera, he hears just like trees cracking and booming and this thing just running through the forest as it disappears.
But it's not recorded.
None of it's recorded. It's just him retelling the story. But if you know anything about Les Stroud, there's no reason to doubt him. Now, I'm not... Is that...
Bro, it's all for the clout, baby.
No, but here's the thing, is he made a killing on Survivor Man. And he threw the whole show away to make a new show about finding Bigfoot because he was so convinced. Again, I'm not saying he's right or anything, but you could tell he was so passionate about it that he threw away a very successful show to go hunt Bigfoot. Like that tells you something. No?
No. I think that's your typical that's the typical way that the world works now. Is you got to hype up the next product that you have coming to try and entice more viewers.
Maybe, but again, if you follow any of Les Stroud's stuff, he's just not that guy. He's a wilderness guy.
What do you know about this guy?
I've followed a lot of his stuff.
I know, but money does a lot of things for people that.
So I guess.
But if he's already making a shit ton of money on a show he's already doing, why would he risk throwing it away to chase Bigfoot?
Here's the thing.
That wasn't as successful. That show was not as successful as Survivor Man.
Most people who have sightings of Bigfoot as well, though, have already a predetermined story of Bigfoot or know about it. It hasn't been like someone who hasn't heard of it or known about it and then has seen it. For the most part, not saying that's everyone.
Who doesn't know about Bigfoot nowadays?
But what I'm saying is, if you want to find something, I feel like you'll also find a way to believe it. Like, if you want to believe it, you'll find reasons to believe it. It could have been that if he's there surviving on, like, minimal stuff, and he's, let's say, tired, exhausted, and he's like, oh, shit, what the hell is that? And he maybe overthought something. Or maybe, I'm not trying to discredit him. I'm just saying that there's always scenarios. But it is crazy that people have saying they've seen similar, almost exact sightings, people being like, hey, like, someone threw, like, rocks near me, or rocks, like, hit near me as a constant thing, and then them seeing something, like, massive. And that's been a common theme, where, like, rocks were thrown, or, like, you hear, like big ass rocks too, not just like pebbles being thrown near you, big ass rocks being thrown, and you'll see this massive thing just sitting there, and you're like, yo, there's no way that's an ape because of the size of that thing, right? And it's like it's crazy because there's so many people saying they see it. Is it all like I want to believe in it, and so that way I think that's that, or is it really like there's something that we don't know?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of filling in the blanks for sure that happens. There is. And unfortunately,
Like starting with the conclusion and working backwards to make those fit your conclusion.
that's exactly it.
Right.
That's exactly what they have in common with a lot of the bullshit conspiracies that go that you see today. Okay, so let's say you don't find much credibility in Les Stroud. What if I told you Vladimir Putin believed in Sasquatch and Bigfoot?
100%.
Not only
I believe in it. That's it.
not only believed in them.
Yeah, he'll kill me if I don't say I
So
believe in it.
he does a lot, for anyone who doesn't know, he actually does a lot of wildlife preservation stuff.
What?
Yeah, right. Vladimir Putin really cares about animals, which is crazy. Like he
There's
legit,
more about the animals than Russians in general.
he flew a hand glider. Fuck, I forget where it was. There's something like in the Arctic or something. He flew a hand glider just to try and teach cranes that they need to migrate south. Like he flew the hand glider with the cranes, trying to like, hey guys, you gotta follow me. You gotta learn
Wait,
how to
the
do
cranes or the Ukraines?
yeah, no, the cranes.
Both.
Fair.
Both.
But-
They're like side by side. There's like a big
So-
fleet.
So Vladimir Putin goes on a private expedition to a site that is notorious for Sasquatch sightings in Russia. Flying over the mountains, him and his crew look out the window, and according to Vladimir Putin, he sees a family of Sasquatches in the mountains.
Bro, they're all just wearing ghillie suits and shit. They're like, it's cold as fuck out here.
Apparently, he
He's like,
saw
holy shit.
he
Dude,
saw a
Sasquatch. They're just wearing,
family.
yeah, they're just wearing the ghillie suits to keep them warm, dude. Which would make sense because you need fur to stay warm.
You don't think Vladimir Putin would know the difference between a ghillie suit and 3 fucking Sasquatches?
Bro, he's in a plane. How is he gonna know the difference?
He's Vladimir Putin.
So
That's
what,
how
this
we
guy's
know
all the know all end all? All of a sudden?
Isn't he?
Shit, dude, you're right.
Duh.
I mean, he get killed for talking about this on the stream.
Well, let's put it this way. There's a lot of scientists, even in North America, who have stated, like, we can't discredit it because of certain evidence that's there that we can't debunk. Like, there's even...
The problem is that argument can then be used for literally everything.
yes,
It's the same thing. Again, I think everyone can tell I want to talk about religion one day very bad because I want to tie it to religion. Like, you can say the exact same thing about that.
Right, but for me,
How
it's
can you
more
just prove
so,
religion? Like,
but for me, it's more so just giving evidence. Like, let's say, like that video that was shown that everyone knows, that iconic video, Planet of the Apes,
It's my
director who had, I guess for their time, really good, costumes and stuff like that, couldn't even replicate something that good in magnitude. And Hollywood couldn't even replicate something that good in magnitude at that time, let alone the size and everything else. Footprints. And what happened is Disney got contracted. Disney, obviously we all know Disney, one of the biggest filmmakers of all time, was contracted to make and replicate something like that, and they could not do it. In fact, motion suits that would actually be like motion capture, it didn't even come out for at least 2 decades after, to be able to make it a movement like that while in a suit of that video. Which is like kind of like we can't even discredit that video because I don't even know how they were able to do that, right? And that's Disney telling it to just 2 local guys who just went out on a limb to go look at stuff, right? And then they finally were able to create it decades after with having a huge athlete in a morphtronic suit and doing it, and they still said that they weren't able to make it as natural after years of training, which is crazy to think about.
It's very interesting. I find that very fascinating.
Right, which is insane because also the mid-tarsal, which is basically, not even just the way the foot was motioned, just like the natural movement of feet. They could not do it with that athlete who was literally trained, someone who was literally trained to go walk like a Sasquatch, and they couldn't make that happen. And also the proportion. So what they did was like they took the model, and this is where it's like it's relative because how do you know it's exact? Of all the joints and stuff like that, they're like, we have never seen something like that. We're like the torso is so much larger than its legs in comparison to what like a human would be or a primate, where it's like we have like no idea how someone can even make a suit to make it look like that, which is mind-blowing, especially since like scientists literally looked into that, and people who are like experts in the field of like basically every component that came about in Bigfoot, when it comes to footprints, like orthotics and stuff like that, to even just anatomy scientists. We're like, we don't know. Like, we can't say it's not true because we have no idea how people can even replicate that kind of stuff, which is crazy. Even just in visuals.
And I mean, that's the unfortunate part about science in this. Like, yes, they can't explain some things, but the whole process and point in science is you can't prove a negative. You can only prove
exactly
that something is something else. So that's where there's this gray area and this leeway in the Bigfoot argument is, science can never say Bigfoot doesn't exist. It can only say there's a lack of evidence that it does exist. And those are two very different arguments.
Pseudoscience, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. It is pseudoscience by saying it does exist without evidence or proof. Or pseudoscience, as Matt would say.
Never said that. There's no proof of that ever.
Anyway. There is proof. So yeah, which to me is the interesting part because you can never disprove it. It can always exist in this idea of Bigfoot. And to me, and I guess a lot of other people online, because I saw other people who share this thought, Bigfoot then transcends the idea of this mythical creature, and Bigfoot is a necessity for human beings.
Because there's fucking organizations that are built around him or it. Like,
right.
That's crazy.
I mean, like, look at how far we've come from being the hunter-gatherers, and in this world now where we're so far removed from nature, despite how much we try to save it and preserve it and stuff, we're so far removed from nature that the idea of a truly free being, like we talk about freedom and stuff in North America, but the idea of Bigfoot
has a dick out all the time.
What's more free than that? What is more free than that? Like that is a true free being who was one with nature. It's almost a reminiscent of our past, and I see why that's like humans romanticize that idea so much, and it's transcended to this big point where like one of the analogies that I read that I really liked is like when you're out camping and you look past the fire and you just see the black wall of the forest in the middle of the night, and you think to yourself, I wonder what's beyond there. All of that is Bigfoot. And like when you're in a
concept of freedom, of free living,
and also just mystery and of like what's out there, curiosity and imagination. You're out in the sea and you're like, what the fuck is below? You can only see the surface of the water, and you're like, what the fuck is beneath me? That's Bigfoot. Just this idea of imagination in nature, tying it all together. And that's where I was like, Bigfoot's far bigger than a creature to me.
I've heard though that there's a clip of Bigfoot where he goes, I can't swim. So you don't, he's not.
Anyone who has not seen that,
he's not beyond the surface of the water. But
just Google "I can't swim." I'm sure it'll show up as like one of the first videos. Cracks me up every time.
Yeah, it is really crazy because even just the concept of just even open water, thinking what's underneath you, and just not being able to fathom what anything can happen, and you being in land in your own, I guess what we can say, natural like habitat and natural environment, and still having that thought of I don't know what's right in front of me 20 feet away after that fire is mind-blowing, because you can think of everything and anything. You can be like, there's a pack of wolves like right there, right behind that. There could be anything that you want.
That's like swimming in the dark.
Exactly.
Like
absolutely.
Like
terrifying. That's terrifying.
Yeah, but at the same point, it's that same concept where it's like you don't know what's out there.
Yeah, and that idea is that's Bigfoot. That like Bigfoot's got a legacy now.
People they want to believe, and it's so bad.
The world needs mystery. The world absolutely needs mystery. And
do you think one of Bigfoot's cousins or close friends betrayed him, and then the other Bigfoots, treated him poorly because of that? In line with like religious stories that exist out there.
Are you saying Bigfoot had a Judas cousin?
Okay.
I don't know where you're going with
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that's not what I'm saying, but I'm also not saying that. Were you to tell me no? You can't tell me that. You don't.
I'm not trying to tell you. I'm just trying to understand what you're telling me or asking.
Dude, who knows what happens in the forest in the dark? No one.
It stays in the forest in the dark.
Bigfoot fucking knows.
Never know, man.
Bigfoot knows that.
That's true. It gives people that belief that there's freedom out there.
There's freedom, right?
Live like that.
And to get for so long, like, when did we make these technological advances? in very, very recent history compared to how long humans have been around. Like a fraction of the time. So all of a sudden, I kind of reiterating a point I already made, but all of a sudden we're so far removed from what was ingrained in our bodies. Like, that's why the idea of Bigfoot exists across the globe, is everyone wants that. Everyone wants that freedom from which our ancestors came from. True freedom.
People literally make careers out of Bigfoot. Like there are people who live for finding out, setting up camps in well-seen areas, and just constantly, I guess, not hunting for Bigfoot, but hunting for proof of Bigfoot. Like, there's people who literally live off that and will die, to prove that. Like will spend the rest of their life finding ways to prove that Bigfoot's real. I saw this one documentary right before where there's this guy who's like, oh, they have a mating call. And it's kind of like how, like, when apes...
Can you do it? Can you do it?
I will. Give me a second. When apes
not now. Okay.
would make a mating call, or not even a mating call, sorry, a hunting call, being like, there's food available here, they go, whoomp, like that. And like, so the guy was doing that in the middle of the night and recording it. And what they do is set up cameras every like kilometer radius away to see if they would get a reaction. And he got a reaction one night, and he showed it. And I was like, bro, that was a wolf. But to them, like, it was like a wolf howling back at them. And then he did it again, and the wolf howled back, and he's like, see, we got a reaction. Now we just pinpoint the location. I'm like, to me, that was a wolf. Like, I heard that, I'm like, that sounded like a howl. But people will, like, are so in depth of, it has to be Bigfoot, so I will not accept another answer where it's just they're very tunnel visioned on the fact of Bigfoot.
That's the problem, man. People get tunnel vision when they're trying to find something so badly.
I agree.
So from now on, I guess whenever we eat together, that's the sound we make before we eat.
Like a chant?
Yeah, someone goes, and then we'll all just womp back.
I'm down. We got to make that a thing.
That's a thing, bro.
That's a thing for sure.
Yo, let's do a shot to womping for Bigfoot.
Should we womp before the shot as a team?
Yeah. For now,
everybody in chat, give us a big womp.
We're gonna give a womp.
Womp.
Jesus fuck.
Next shirt. That's the next shirt.
That is the next shirt. Absolutely.
Is that Bigfoot going to do big shots?
A big mama's house.
Big shock. 3 + 3 is 6.
So, before we jump into hypotheticals, I want to talk about the Stargate thing real quick.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
There's this theory.
Before you jump into that.
Sorry, Matty, before
about...
you jump into that, Lee, go ahead.
Whoa. Questions that, do you think Bigfoot smokes weed? Do you think he's a stoner?
Big Bush.
Almost spat my water everywhere. 100%.
But then we got some other contesting comments that said,
oh,
shrooms are easier to find in the forest than weed. He's a tripper, not a stoner. So
okay, well, he's a big druggie. 100%. 100%. Are you kidding me?
Nature in itself is its own high.
Yo, that's another shirt right there. We're gonna make that shirt too.
Nature is its own high.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. No, definitely Bigfoot was into drugs or is into drugs. 100%. There's no freaking way. A lot of people describe. Never mind. I was gonna say something that's probably gonna get me in trouble, so I'm not gonna say it.
Say it. You can't stop now, baby.
Nope.
We've
no,
already did
fuck
so
it. You know what?
Things.
Fuck it. Someone wants to come get
Ruckus, me. Dude.
Fucking bring it. I was gonna say there's a lot of descriptions of Bigfoot where people say it, like he's so obviously wild and rolling around in mud, and he's a wild beast that his hair looks dreaded. So he's like this big dreadlocked thing. So obviously he's into drugs, is what I was gonna say. Anyone wants to fight me on that? Fucking bring it. I will take anyone down in a conversation about this shit. You want to debate? Let's go. Let's go.
He's probably just.
Let's go.
Oh shit, yo! I don't know how I clicked something on my. I put outro by accident on the Twitch stream. I don't know how long.
Oh, poor guys.
I don't know how long that happened.
That
Sorry,
being
guys.
said,
For anyone that was watching, we're not done.
apparently, so sorry. We discussed how Bigfoot is known as Sasquatch in Canada, known as Yowie in Australia, Yeti in the
Huawei in the phone industry.
Yeti in the Himalayas. But did you know in the Caribbean he's known as the Ganja Father?
No.
No, it's not true. I'm just being horrible there. I'm
This
gonna
is
get
a
us
really
canceled
tall
before we
dude.
even take off.
He's just a really tall dude.
Yeah, it's just a guy.
He wears a gorilla suit because he's
Okay.
just a raver.
Again, though, and thank you for bringing that up because I want to say it earlier. Like the idea of a giant ape, because some people just have an issue with that alone. Just the idea of this colossal ape. Andre the Giant was a fucking person, right? Like, how come it's okay for this fucker to live, but we can't have giant apes?
Well,
You know what I mean? Because sorry, real
What about
quick.
Yao Ming and Shaquille
Yeah.
O'Neal?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The list goes on. The list goes on because everyone says. The idea of Bigfoot is that he's somewhere between 6 and 8 feet tall, ranging from 600 pounds.
really, I've
Oh,
seen,
sorry, 9 feet tall. Some people say some people say bigger.
I've heard 15 feet.
I haven't seen 15 feet.
I've seen that one. That's why he takes 6-foot strides.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
No, I just read on average it's like, 6 to 9 feet tall. I said 8 before, but sorry, it was 6 to 9, and like 600 pounds. Andre the Giant was 7'5" and about 500 pounds, right in the middle. So like we're okay with Andre the Giant being this freaking big, but we're not okay with another creature being bigger.
That's
Like,
fair.
what? You know what I mean?
With that. That's fair.
No,
That's all I want to say.
I could definitely see that. I think where the whole argument becomes is like the stature and the way that this, like, whatever the sighting was. The thing, you can't relate the way it moves and to anything else. It's not like a bigger gorilla because of the way it moved. It almost walked like a human, but it had this full hair like a gorilla. It's like, you can't relate that to anything that would be like, hey, it's just this but bigger. It's its own standalone thing. I think that's the only reason why there's this huge debacle.
I want to say this real quick before I miss the opportunity. We've been streaming for 69 minutes on YouTube. Hey,
baby, cool. Nice.
Woo! Okay, we're gonna end it here. Matt, we're supposed to do it back. Anyways, yeah, no, I agree, but like I'm just saying, like some people had their first and only argument was, "Ain't no ape that big," like.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Who said it like that? Why did they speak like that when they said it?
You want me to ask them? You want me to send them an email and ask them?
No, but why did you say it in that accent and tone?
I wanted to give them some character.
Karl Marx, peace out, bro. Thanks for coming.
He's heading out.
As
hey,
always.
have a good one. We always love
he
seeing
said
you,
we catapulted our evolution because we expanded our minds with plants that get us high. So,
yes, that's a real theory. The stoned ape theory.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
Oh, did he mention that?
Yeah, he did. And J Mark too was talking. J Mark was the one who talked about.
Yeah, that's a very interesting topic. Maybe we could do an episode on that. I don't know, but it's a fun
Just
one.
evolution of us.
To kind of dovetail off of this topic for a future one. That's a shot for dovetail. That's it. That's the new thing. That's like a goal horn in hockey. It's the shot horn.
We're gonna lose viewers so quick if we keep doing this. Cheers.
I just got an email saying someone just tried to log into our podcast YouTube channel.
It's a Bigfoot
from Ukraine.
Bigfoot.
Really?
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
Yo, this Bigfoot thing's gonna get us in trouble. Everyone's trying to shut us down.
Yeah.
You guys saw it here first.
Illuminati. If you never seen episode live again from us, that's what happened.
Bigfoot got us, or the government, someone.
Kind of like Chernobyl. It's kind of like what happened with Chernobyl.
Chernobyl?
Yeah. Who the hell is Sharon?
Sharon.
Why is she so noble?
Sharon Noble.
Have you guys seen that? That documentary is actually really good. I would talk about that for a bit.
Are you talking about the documentary? Or are you talking about the HBO show? That's not a documentary.
That was really good though.
It's not a documentary. It's just
it was like, what do you call a live reenactment of something that happened?
I feel like it's just a dramatization of real events.
It's a dramatization documentary. It's great.
Wasn't a documentary.
Yeah,
it was pretty documented.
down there, kid. I don't know.
Pretty documented. There's facts in there.
Yeah, I'm not. What? Yeah, okay. There are facts
What?
in every show.
That's not true at all.
What
That'd be
show
like
is-
saying
Rick
CSI Miami is factual.
No, but there are facts in it. You said there were facts in the show. Every show,
We're
every
getting-
single show
we're
ever
getting- we're
has
getting- we're
some
getting off
facts in
topic.
it.
We're getting off topic.
Fact.
Sorry, I want to talk
Bigfoot
about.
is real.
So,
I want to talk about.
I
This is a
want-
good. This is a good segue to a topic about aliens because I think some of the experiences that people have had with aliens fall somewhat in line with Bigfoot. Chat, you let us know if you want to hear us. I can't even talk. You want to hear us talk about aliens? Let us know because that could be a future topic. But
Yeah. Well, if you're kidding, hell yeah, we're gonna do
while we're on topics, another this is like kind of the final point I made is natives and their interactions with Bigfoot.
natives.
Yeah. So
Very interesting.
so
Indigenous.
Native American, specifically indigenous people,
that. Okay.
had actually said that they used to have the Bigfoot people, I don't know what they used to call them, actually work with them, and what they used to do is while they're hunting and gathering, they would have these Bigfoot people help and protect them during those times. And what they would do as sacrifices is they would leave basically a portion of whatever they had gathered and leave it at the end of their village, and they would interact with them directly, and which is why North America's, I guess, culture of Bigfoot has formed that way, is that, hey, like, these used to exist, they used to hunt with us, they used to protect us during, like, encounters with bigger mammals. So what we used to do is leave them sacrifices at the end, and they would always be gone at the end without a trace.
Imagine that you're just like a really tall dude,
so-
and the Aboriginals or First Nations were like, "Yo, you wanna watch this while we hunt? Just watch our backs.
So the
Like, we'll
argument,
give you part of our meal."
the argument
yeah,
is,
bro, I got you. Yeah, bro, I got you.
the
That's how
argument
they would talk.
the argument is
That's
like
Fuck.
you can train anyone to know, or any animal to know, it's like, hey, there's always going to be food at the end of this. So what they used to do is test it and be like, specifically, we would leave it out in a certain way that only these Bigfoot people would be able to reach. And I'm like, why would you have to do that if you already knew that they existed? Like, you interacted with them, so you knew that they were real. So why would you have to do it in a specific way that only they could reach? And it was for the purpose that it wouldn't get stolen by predators like panthers,
Mountain
tigers,
lions.
and,
Sure.
yeah, sure, anything of that
Lions and tigers and bears.
in Kenya. And so, yeah, like lions and tigers in Kenya. You guys ever watch that video from funnyjunk.com back in the day?
No.
Anyway, so
That-
yeah, that's how like their basic, like, their story originated from.
What I think is super neat about that is that kind of explains a little bit of at least most, if not all, North American encounters with Bigfoot, Sasquatch are very peaceful interactions, and almost like, at least in the stories anyways, that the Bigfoot creature is almost playful with the person. And and in a lot of the cases, it's like the Bigfoot creature went into their fishing box and ate their fish, and then the guy comes out in the morning. He's like, "What the fuck? My fish are gone."
Yeah, and they try to play it off. He's like,
catches,
"Oh, my fish are gone," and
Yeah.
Bigfoot's just like,
or he or like there's
Loki
ones-
eats pits. He's like, "What a dickhead!" Oh, like that was our
yeah,
that was
but
our
that's-
food for the week.
that's why we got separated. We're like, "Yo, fuck it." We're like, "We're not sharing our food anymore." And they kept taking. They're like, "You know what? We're done. We're done."
Bigfoot.
Was he Italian?
I don't know.
No, but that's very interesting what you bring up about the indigenous people, because that kind of bleeds into people who don't know anything about the indigenous culture and their interactions with the Bigfoot creatures, and how the similarities still tie in. It's neat. It's interesting. I like it. Real quick before we move on, what I was going to talk about, the Spacegate thing. There's a theory that Bigfoot is a multi-dimensional being. So he's almost like an alien thing that travels through portals to get to different locations at different times, and that's why he like vanishes in an instant. Like, he takes 3 steps and he's gone into the forest. Mind you, I don't know if any
16 PC, bro. He's playing Portal, but real life.
exactly.
Playing VR.
No, I mean, there's multiple layers to that thing. Like, I don't know if you, upon doing research on Bigfoot and stuff, I started looking up the Pacific Northwest rainforest and stuff, and that shit is dense as a motherfucker. Like, I don't know if you look at it. It's just tree after tree after tree. it would make total sense that something just takes 3 steps in and you're like, "Bop, it's gone." Like I can't see anymore.
It teleported.
Yeah, because it's so fucking dense. But the idea of it being this just bigger than the idea of Bigfoot already. Oh, there's a giant mammal that's like kind of smart and stuff, kind of cool. But now it's this like cosmic being that could teleport to different times and places. I kind of like this a little more.
Could you say that the Backstreet Boys made a song about it and called it "Larger Than Life" because that's what makes Bigfoot larger than life?
I'm starting to think there's a lot of things tying into this. There's a lot of conspiracies about this, right?
Yeah.
Backstreet Boys were in on Bigfoot. That's a fact. You heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first.
Well, I mean, Backstreet Boys is from the future. That's why it's Backstreet's back. All right.
You guys are hearing it here first.
Yeah, guys.
Oh my God, we're back again.
Back from where? The future? Fuck.
And that's where the movie came
That's
from.
why they played that. Did they not play that song in the movie? They should have. That was an opportunity.
Pretty sure the movie came out before that. But
if they were from the future, they would have known that.
Oh my God. But they couldn't tell everyone that. Because if they had done that, it would have been bait. Everyone would have known.
Yeah. That would have made them larger than life.
Yeah, I think we've discovered some great things here today. Backstreet Boys are in on Bigfoot. I forget the other conspiracy.
They're from the future. They're from the future.
We came up with a couple other ones.
Dude.
We came up with some other ones during this podcast, and I forget them now. Oh well.
This is a mating call. So they're
War.
herding call.
These guys trying to mate, huh?
Luke says something on his mind.
Every time I hear that outside, I run outside.
He's gonna start all of his Tinder conversations with.
Do it. Do it, and then add a link to one of our clips where we do it, and see if they know what the fuck we're talking about.
Like, holy, I'm BTF.
I'll be like, hey, for anyone interested, I have this nice episode about Bigfoot. I'll just link him to this, and they'll be like, what the fuck is this guy on?
And they're like, oh, what? You got a Bigfoot? What does that mean? You're like, no, like we talked about Bigfoot.
It means it's really hard for me to find shoes, woman.
Let alone socks, man. What a disaster, by the way.
This guy just ties his shirts around his feet. For anyone who didn't know.
And I buy kayaks for shoes.
Sure, I can confirm.
Yeah.
Can confirm.
Facts, big facts.
Bigfoot with big facts.
Oh, you beat me to it. I'm so pissed.
Shall we jump into the hypothetical of the week?
Let's do it.
Anyone got anything?
Bigfoot. Whoa! Didn't expect that, did you?
That is the hypothetical.
That is the one.
No. Another beer, quick. I don't have one off the top of my head. I can.
You literally stalled just to tell us you didn't have one?
Yeah, I did.
This guy.
Is that a fucking problem?
Yeah,
You know,
It's a waste of time.
Instead of opening up Google Docs, I opened up Google Books. I don't think I've ever opened up before.
Here, I'll ask you something.
Thank you.
If you could go back in time
No.
to tell yourself one thing and one thing only, when do you go back to and what do you tell yourself?
Oh, I like that one. I already know.
Go ahead. What do you got?
For me, it would be probably around grade like I'd say like around high school era. I'd be like stop gaming and start gaining. Like start focusing on your health rather than video games.
No, but is that a one-liner? That's
it.
it. You say stop gaming, start gaining, and you disappear, and you're like, what does that mean?
No, I would say like stop gaming and start like working out instead. I think that would have been a big pinnacle for me. I think that's the biggest impact I would see so far right now. Other than that, like honestly, I'm not really anything else that I'm doing in my life. Like I'm pretty content with. I think the one thing I wish I did was get into good health sooner, rather than waiting so long to do it. Because now, the older you are, the harder it is. Testosterone drops, etc. Where I could have made a big impact on that and been a lot happier sooner if I had made those decisions. I'm happy now, but I could have been happier sooner.
I feel like Matt and I are going to say the same thing. You go first.
Stop jerking
Yeah, I'm
off.
going to say that, honestly, my dick is so sore all the time. Like, yeah, it's not. No. It's not.
That's what you're going to go back and tell yourself?
No. No. I was going off of Lucas's joke.
Oh.
What I would go back and tell myself is nothing, because I am content with where I am in life today, and I'm a big believer of what I've done in my life has brought me to where I am now. And I think What are you shaking your head for, bro?
So fairy tale, so cute.
No, you're right. You're
What's that fairy
absolutely
tale?
right.
That's literally factual.
I know,
I could literally
I know.
go back and be like,
I'm being a
everything
dick.
I've done
I'm being a
has
dick,
brought me
but
to
yeah.
here. I'm being very logical and literal, and that's just kind of how I am as a
That's
person.
fair.
So it's like,
Sure.
I wouldn't want to change anything because where I am now, I'm like, sure, I could give your stereotypical, oh, be smarter with your money. Like, don't buy this because you don't really need this. Like, again, I've learned, and I think it's made me a better person today than I would have been had I known that in the past, anyways. So I don't know. I would just be like, yo, continue doing what you're doing, live your life, fuck bitches, get money.
That's what you say.
Even though I didn't
Okay, so you
I did neither of those.
Would you
he masturbated and spent money.
I'm a poor virgin.
would you have given yourself like a heads up, being like, hey, by the way, next lotto ticket numbers are?
No, because I don't think you could do that. That's kind of against the time travel rules that are, I think, just spoken to everyone about.
Okay.
Okay, you guys just made up those time.
But
No,
Bigfoot
those are real.
over,
Those
but
are
Bigfoot
real
over
rules.
here.
You can't do that.
But Bigfoot over here can just travel throughout time, so it's all good.
Guy's an intergalactic being.
Yeah, he doesn't fucking play the lotto.
How about you, Lee?
Here's what I would do, and honestly, I thought Matt and I were going to be on the same page on this, but I guess not, because I guess I am smarter than Matt. Surprise, surprise, everybody. No, what I would do. Now, I do agree with you. Is I'm very happy with where I am in life. I'm not saying things couldn't be better, but I'm very happy with where I am in life, and I wouldn't want to risk it by making any big change in my past that would lead me to a different future. So what I would do,
literally what I said.
no, but here was what I would do, is I would go into the recent past, a past that wouldn't really affect any of the things I love so much today, and I would tell myself, I'd say, hey, put everything into GME.
Wow, this guy.
Put it all.
That's not fair. You can't do that.
Why can't I do that?
No, that's against the time travel rule.
Since what fucking rules are you talking about?
What boundaries do we set that's saying that you can't do that?
Yeah.
I didn't set them. They're just rules that exist that I know
Who said that?
out there.
Who said that?
Your rules
who
are
time travel.
more fake than Bigfoot.
No.
Yo, to be honest, if anything came of this podcast, I think I'm a little convinced that Bigfoot's out there somewhere.
Not convinced. I knew all along. I'm trying to share that with the world. Bigfoot's my dad.
There you go. You guys heard yeah, Matt's making up his own time travel rules.
No, that's
playing the lottery.
You can do that. Yeah, but
Why can't I do that?
You're not winning the. Why can't I do that? Winning the. Playing short game is literally winning the lottery.
Yeah, it is.
I
I know, but you just said you can't win the lottery, and I just said
it's not the lottery.
Yeah, it is.
It's not the lottery.
Okay, it is if you know what's gonna happen. That's literally not. That's the
Isn't
same.
the whole point of going to the past and telling yourself one thing because you know something's gonna fucking happen?
Not when it gives you monetary benefits.
No. Those are money. Money's not allowed.
Anything that you could have said to yourself could be monetized. If I said work out early, I could have been a bodybuilder.
You fucked up.
Who's buying that?
You fucked up, and you're only gonna tell.
My dad.
Bigfoot.
Better grad photos, baby.
You fucked up, and you told your past self, "Fuck bitches, get money," and it probably led to a shittier life. I'm telling myself, "Yo, dump everything into GME."
No, that's
become
you can't
a
do that.
fucking
That is
nut.
one of the rules.
What are you saying?
It is. It's one of the rules.
No, it's not.
Someone out there will tell me, they're like, "Yo, I know the rules he's talking about, but it's the unspoken rules of time travelers." I'm a time traveler. That's why I haven't done it yet, because it's against the fucking rules.
No.
Oh.
You bought into GME. What are you saying?
Yeah, because I don't want to make it so obvious. Hence why I bought in at the time it is and sold when it was.
God.
I could have made way more, but I don't want to. I don't want to prove that I'm a time traveler.
Just shut up.
Yo, that's the smartest thing Lucas has ever said. I agree with him.
So
100%.
frustrating. That was so frustrating.
100%.
You guys are just pissed that I'm right. I get it. Everyone's pissed that I'm right.
There's no.
People at work are like, "Aren't you tired of being right all the time?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's fucking exhausting."
What kind of fucking scarecrow fools do you work with? I say scarecrow because they have no brain.
Ouch.
Yo,
wow, that's literally a shot to every colleague of mine. Anyone watching this?
Yeah, it was.
Fan69, hope you're watching this.
No, Matt Fan 6969. If you agree with Matt, reassess your life.
In all fairness, Matt Fan 6969 has recently been disagreeing with Matt more than anyone else, even me, which is
because he's a smart
guy.
Because he's probably a smart guy. Now, chat, you tell us. when you see this on YouTube or Instagram, please leave us a comment. I'm smelling a new hashtag. I don't know. There's hashtag fuck Lukasz. I'm smelling a hashtag something Matty.
Yeah.
Womp.
That's a new
Yo.
hashtag.
How?
But remind you that hashtag fuck Lukasz goes both ways. You can. It's because you dislike me, or it's because you really like me, baby, and you want to fuck Lukasz. You know what I'm talking about?
This is the live animation of the hashtag fuck Lukasz.
I think I'm gonna do like. I'm thinking like hashtag Matty makes no sense. I want to play off the M a little bit because just to recap for everybody, he thinks math.
That is one of the stupidest.
He thinks math was invented.
It is.
This guy thinks there was a time where math didn't exist.
It's true.
And now he thinks time travel means I can't.
And then he tried. Yeah, so he thought math didn't exist, and he tried to recommend a book about it. Worst salesman ever.
A book that explained the points I'm trying to make.
It really didn't. I read the same book. I read the same book.
If the book had anything to do with what you had said, I don't want to read the book. But when Lee explained it to me, I wanted to read the book. You know what I mean?
You're just a biased piece of shit.
Anyways, we got so off track.
We did.
If anything, you all give your synopsis. I'm gonna give mine. What I take away from this podcast, today's episode, is I think Bigfoot's still. I think Bigfoot's still. I say you could give yours later. All right, Jesus. I think Bigfoot.
You biased piece of shit.
I think Bigfoot is still in the air. Obviously, science
he's flying. He's evolved so much he grows wings.
Where the fuck is he?
That's why he travels so fast. He puts on his jetpack and
imagine Chewbacca with goggles flying through.
There is zero evidence on the contrary. Zero evidence.
Yeah, there's true. You can't disprove that. That's true.
Bring it. So yeah, I think Bigfoot. I don't think we came to anything. I think there's interesting stories.
I came to Bigfoot.
I think there's interesting stories. There's obviously some skepticism. Like I said, the idea of Bigfoot is bigger than anything. I think that is very important to human beings. Bigfoot may not exist, may exist, but what we do know for sure is he is needed. Lukasz, what did you take away from this?
So would you say
episode?
he exists in your heart, but
100%, 100%. Bigfoot definitely exists in my heart, 100%.
But maybe not your mind. Okay.
No, in my mind too. Absolutely.
Oh, he's got you. He's just got you by the balls.
I'm a Bigfooter.
My takeaway is that with all the research I had done in the past 3 hours, extensive. Honestly, there's just
this guy has put people's life work.
Yeah,
5-minute video.
It's true, because for me to copy everyone's life work would mean that I would have never-ending amount of work to do. I would never be able to catch up, because there's stuff that's beyond my time that's continuing on now, because people older than me are making this time, and it will be carried on through other people. It's impossible to catch up on everything that is Bigfoot. But
you don't like ketchup
and licorice, but. What I'm saying is that my takeaway from the whole Bigfoot situation is that, yeah, it is much needed. I think as you were kind of saying, is that we need to have some sort of belief in something that even if we don't necessarily need it, just like religion, some people need that shit in their life. So, and honestly, with all the facts of not being able to debunk it, but also not being able to prove it is mind blowing, and all the facts that were there and stuff that's like beyond the time of technology and being able to do what we saw in a video of Bigfoot for like 5 seconds is crazy. But that's kind of where my takeaway is. It's just so mind blowing. I need to, like, if someone were to post a video tomorrow being like, Bigfoot is real, let me show you a new video, I would watch it. I would watch it 100%, because that's so cool. I think it's so cool because humans are made from curiosity. Like we are curious by design, and this is just another stepping stone for us to be like, this is just so much more than us. What about you, Matty?
I was gonna say the quote. You know the quote, "Curiosity killed the cat."
Mm.
But there's like a second part to it. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Great.
I was gonna Google it, but you finished sooner than I thought you were gonna. I'm sure you hear that all the time.
My dad tells me constantly. So.
Yeah, I just think I'm not gonna go and say that I don't believe in it. It's just more so. I think it's misconstrued. I think it's just a species of potentially primitive primates that still exist to this day that do their best to avoid us because they see what we're capable of as a species. And they're like, yo, fuck those destructive beings. I'm not trying to destroy the forest and give rattlesnakes no home to live in North America. That's just an example, but it happens everywhere. Yeah, I don't know. It's just
Sorry, real quick before we go, we'll make it very quick.
We should shoot. We'll shoot to whatever it is you say.
We'll shoot. Sure.
I'm so lit.
Let's do it. Let's do it. One more shot. So am I. Let's real quick. What do you guys think happens if tomorrow there's proof that Bigfoot exists? What happens to the world? What happens to you? What happens to the world? Cheers.
I literally will get a notification. I shot already. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I get a notification on my phone that I probably swipe right on to dismiss it until later.
That's fair. That's fair. You don't. So it doesn't change your world at all.
No.
I don't think it would change my world drastically.
I don't think there's a lot that could happen tomorrow.
You guys don't think anything happens? Bigfoot is confirmed.
You asked my world. I said no.
I feel like there.
No, I know. I'm just
so many more people being like, I knew it, or so many more people being like, oh, like I already knew that, all this and that. I think it would be like discovering anything else that people felt like they already knew existed. It's like,
but you don't like the whole idea of like
finding something
that anyone who believes in
controversial and is now proven,
right? And like right now, basically anyone who believes in Bigfoot is classified as a crazy person by the logical people of the world, and I'm kind of one of them. But
you're one of the logical or the crazy?
I like to play both sides, to be honest. But yeah. So now there's this thing where the crazy people were right this whole time, despite everything. Now, mind you, the real smart scientists will say they can't say that Bigfoot doesn't exist. They could just say there's a lack of evidence, like I alluded to before. Now, all of a sudden, this mythical creature is real? You guys don't think that flips the world on its head?
I don't think so.
No, because unicorns are real. They're just fucking narwhals.
Rhinoceros.
No, they learn how to swim. Because not everyone can swim.
I
can't swim.
I don't think the world will tilt on its head, but definitely, as always, the states will over-exaggerate the situation and blow it out of proportion.
How does that mean it's a states problem?
It is. It's always a states problem. It's always the United States blew something out of proportion.
Yeah.
There's gonna be riots in the streets, for some reason.
Yeah, it is.
I think it'll definitely bring a lot.
Did you imagine that happened this week? Rip DMX, but Bigfoot lives on in a one sign. That's crazy.
If there was ever a time for it to happen, it's now, because so much fucking shit has happened.
I do feel like Bigfoot would definitely trump whatever is local news, international news. It'll definitely trump everything. And just be this is it. This is billboards.
The icing on the cake would be that low key Bigfoot and their species are big DMX fans, and it's a tough time for them, which is why they've come out.
Maybe DMX was a Bigfoot. Anyways, I think that's a great spot to leave it, everybody.
I agree.
Great to see you. Have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for joining in. Leave some comments. Let us know what you think. Is Bigfoot real? Is Bigfoot not? Who had some compelling arguments?
What do you want to hear us talk about in the future?
What do you want to hear us talk about?
We'll think about it maybe not.
What do you want to hear Matt talk less about? Let us know in the comments.
Take care, everyone.
Take care, folks. Always love seeing you.
Cheers.
Have a good weekend. I don't know why.
Happy Bigfoot. Womp.
Womp.